About half a year ago, my dad was arrested for sexual assault of a minor. A family member came out during a therapy session and detailed that for 6 years she was sexually assaulted by him. It started when she was a small child and ended as she became older. The abuse started 16 years ago and ended 10 years ago. The entire family is completely mortified, and I really don't think anyone knows how to feel about this horrifying crime committed. I feel very angry, betrayed, and disgusted. I really can't even look at him, and talking to him really makes me have extreme anxiety. My wife and I have 2 children, a 5-year-old male and a 2-year-old male. They had a pretty decent relationship with their grandparents, as we would visit frequently and on most holidays. Since this has happened, we can't get the thought of him doing this to them out of our minds. There have only been 2 occurrences in the past where my father was left alone with my oldest. The first time was when he was 3 years old and we needed a sitter, so we dropped him off for a couple of hours. The other time was last summer during a normal visit. My son wanted to watch cartoons, so he went into the bedroom and was watching TV with his grandpa. After some time, I went over to check on him. I noticed the door was shut and locked. At the time, I didn't think anything odd because, it's my dad and you think you can trust your own parents. Also, my son used to sometimes shut doors and accidentally lock himself in rooms at home. It is this moment that really worries me. Although there were 10 other people at the house, the victim stated that the abuse happened while people were home. We both have tried to vaguely ask our son if anyone has ever told him to keep a secret or if anyone has touched him in places that made him feel uncomfortable. We really aren't sure what wording we should be using as he is so young and we don't want him exposed to this horror. Each time we ask him, he says no. But we did go through all of the grandparents asking if he felt safe with each of them. My dad was the only one he said he didn't feel safe with. I have a split family, so there are 3 sets of grandparents. Fast forward to now. My dad has moved back into his house with my stepmom as he awaits his trial. The victim lived at the house with a sibling of hers, so he was not allowed near the property. For a few months, he was staying elsewhere, but eventually had nowhere else to go. He was basically homeless. Victim explains to me that stepmom has been making her feel guilty for coming out with this, as she references his living conditions and how depressed he is. Stepmom offers to pay deposit and first month's rent for victim and her sibling at a new apartment. That weekend, my dad was back at the house living there. Now that he is back at home, they both keep pressuring my wife and I to bring our children over there to visit them. I'm pretty sure he is not even legally allowed near children with his release agreement. We brought the kids over there before he moved back to visit my stepmom a few times. I don't plan to let him see them possibly ever again, at least until they can make the decision themselves if they want to see their grandpa when they are much older. I also don't feel comfortable having them visit just my stepmom because of her treatment of the victim and moving him back into the house. Am I the idiot for not allowing them to see their grandkids because of this? Sorry for the awful format and writing. I am stupid and rarely post on Reddit. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Keep your babies safe. The only thing between your precious child and the big bad world full of creeps. You. Well, you and your wife. You do whatever it is you need to do to keep them safe. I am a survivor of childhood sexual assault. One reason I didn't come forward and say something sooner, it was always called abuse. No matter the type, physical, mental, whatever type abuse. So I thought what happened to me was different because abuse hurts. When we as parents talk with our children about sexual assault, it needs to be made clear that just because it may not have hurt does not make it okay. It is still abuse. Comment 2. Not the idiot you may want to see if you can find info online, or maybe social workers can point you to resources. Keep any child away from your dad and hope nothing happened. That type of person cannot be trusted around children at all. I'm sure he is breaking the rules by asking. I would find out who to talk to about him asking to see kids. That kind of person is sick in the head. Comment 3. Not the idiot. You should contact the police and see if part of his bail conditions are to have no contact with minor children. Also, your mom is witness tampering, and that police and the DA should be made aware of that too. You are perfectly in your rights to go no contact with them. Now, for the next story. My sister never listens to my advice. And it's usually good advice. She wanted to put her kids in a better school district, since the one her kids were in was awful. Shootings and gang violence all the time, and it was impossible to get a good education there. Fair enough. I suggested she not get a total fixer-upper, and to get something a little smaller but in better shape. She decided she was going to sell her house and buy a smaller fixer-upper in my neighborhood. The house was on the verge of being condemned. There were serious electrical and plumbing issues, as well as many others. Her plan was that her husband and his dad would fix the house up before they moved in. They sold their house. Right after they sell their house and schedule a move-out date, her father-in-law has a stroke. He can't help now. Her husband doesn't know that much about fixing electrical or plumbing issues. The issue is that I'm actually good at fixing things. I originally went to trade school to be an electrician and worked for a bit before I decided to make a career change. My sister is in panic mode because they have no way of making the house livable before they move in. So the kids won't have power or water. She wants me to spend every weekend before their move-in date going over there to work on the house. I work 12-hour shifts, and the last thing I want to do on my days off is to bust my ass fixing up her house for nothing. My sister has never done me any big favors, and honestly, she's kind of unreliable, so I know if the tables were turned, she wouldn't help me. I think she should just take out whatever loans she has to in order to pay to have it fixed, or put it on a credit card. She thinks I'm an idiot because she has no money to pay someone to do it. I told her if she comes and spends a day deep cleaning my house, I'll go over there and put in a day's work. I feel like that's more than fair, seeing as hiring a maid is way cheaper than an electrician. Am I the idiot? My spouse thinks my sister is being dumb and shouldn't have gotten such a total fixer-upper. But our parents want me to just go casually put in 50-plus hours of work so that my sister stops complaining to them. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. House cleaning in return for electrical work is a great trade. Don't help out anyone ungrateful for help. I helped out family, and they always asked for ways to return favors or make our lives easier, just because they were grateful for all our help. They made bad choices. It's not like a disaster happened. They chose that type of house. Comment 2. Not the idiot. The reality is you have no idea how bad it's going to be until you get in there. It could be a complete rewiring job or full of asbestos. If your parents don't want to listen to her whine anymore, they can pay for her to hire an electrician. Comment 3. Not the idiot. For the sake of the kids, you could do it, but you have no obligation to do it. I do think your proposal is very fair and would keep the peace if she agrees to it, and that's what I would do. But I'm a pushover at the end of the day. Now, for the next story. He was telling me, 17-year-old male, about how each of my brothers were doing much better academically at my age. I have spent my whole life being compared to them and being told that I'm not as smart, not as gifted, not as athletic, that I wasn't in some way as good as my 3 older brothers. So on that day, something inside me snapped. After he said, "Your brothers did so much better in maths," I looked at my dad and said, "At least I'm not in prison for rape like them." My mom and dad were furious. They said my brothers being rapists have nothing to do with me not doing as well academically, and that I shouldn't deflect or try to change the subject, that it was a logical fallacy and stuff. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. I don't know whether to laugh or cry at this. It's so ludicrously disgusting how hard people hold on to the idea that their fricking golden child is that it's actually hilarious. Like, the rape is apparently irrelevant. JFC, sorry kid. There appears to be no way to successfully use logic or reason on these people. I totally get the position you're in. If I were you, I'd move out on my 18th birthday and never look back. I did, in fact, move out on my 18th birthday after promising myself I would for so many years. I can't say every day was easy, but it beat the hell out of living under the thumb of people who literally asterisk could not be reasoned with asterisk. Good luck. You're almost there. Now for the next story. Reddit. I am freaking out. To be clear, I haven't canceled anything at the time of writing this post, but I am strongly considering it. I had planned to go on a once-in-a-lifetime holiday to Japan with my mom, and we originally scheduled to go during the pandemic, of course not knowing it was around the corner. We pushed it, and now it's finally happening and we leave tomorrow. What's changed since then is that I've had 2 children, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. As I sit on transit to my overnight hotel now, I feel like leaving them is the wrong thing to do because I don't want to miss time with them. Their mom is with them and she is staying with her parents, so they will be well looked after. But I am feeling anxious and panicked about the idea of being apart from them. I'm in Canada and my mom is in the UK. She's meeting me there. Her flight leaves before mine, and I've asked her to call me as soon as she's woken up to talk about it, so I don't end up in a position where she's already on her way and I can't get on the plane. I do suffer from anxiety in general. I know this is in my head. I only left an hour or so ago, so it's all very fresh. I know if I cancel that there will be a clear message that my children are more important to me than my mom, but I know she will completely understand. I'll also pay any lost cost she incurs. I just don't know if I'd be the idiot for canceling and whether I'm throwing away a true once-in-a-lifetime trip with my mom because of my own separation anxiety. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. I have just paid for my mum to come from Australia to visit me here in the Isle of Man. It will be the last time she will be able to travel that distance, and I want to make it special. Don't regret not having this time with your mum. A short time away from your children can be made up over the years, but time with your mum when you are old enough to treasure it is something to cherish. Go, enjoy, let your wife and kids be spoiled by their grandparents, and come back with amazing stories of beautiful Japan. Comment 2. Not the idiot. But I think you would really regret canceling. Like you said, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and you don't know if you'd get another chance. I say don't cancel. Take a deep breath, get on the plane, enjoy this time with your mum, and FaceTime the kiddos. As someone who is about to lose her grandmother, I say, spend as much time as you can with your elders. You won't regret the time spent with your mom. I know that much. Comment 3. Don't cancel. Your anxiety and reluctance to leave your children only shows you're a good parent. I'm sure your mom, who also happens to be a parent, would not have gone ahead with the plans if she thought it was a bad parenting move. Since you haven't actually done anything yet, no judgment to give, just advice. Now for the next story. Throwaway for privacy. This is a serious question. I really can't tell who is the idiot here. I have had multiple back surgeries and in the process got hooked on pain medication. I, 39-year-old female, went to rehab 2 years ago and all is good. Except, my mom's dog is injured and has been prescribed pain medication. As soon as we got them, I asked for them to be hidden. I am staying with her until he's better. Couple of weeks. She agreed. The next day, they were sitting on her dresser at eye level to me. I mentioned it, she said oops, and moved them. The next day, yesterday, they were out on the kitchen counter all day and again today. I ended up taking some today. I am fully aware that was my decision and I am responsible, etc. I told my husband and he lost it, screaming at me on the phone about what a piece of poop my mom is. I asked my mom to again hide them, but I'm wondering if it is too much to ask or unreasonable. I can't really leave because I'm the only one available to help her. When I asked her to hide them tonight, she made a joke about leaving them out. I mentioned it's very stressful having them out, and she laughed. I am a guest in her house, but only because of the dog. She can't carry him for the few stairs in out to the yard. So, am I the idiot for making my problem hers? Or should she be more considerate since I'm struggling, always have, always will? This is the first time in the 2 years I've been in this situation. Thank you for your time. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You are requesting her to hide your addiction. It seems that she is deliberately leaving the painkillers out. If she is not willing to help you in your recovery, you should not be expected to help her in her dog's recovery. Match her idiot move with one of your own. Tell her, you leave the pills out again, then I will be out. Literally leave and let her deal with her dog if she leaves the painkillers out. Comment 2. I'm assuming if it's for the dog, it's just tramadol. The most useless pain med ever invented. You can't control yourself with something that doesn't even get you high? I'm a former addict myself. Pills, then heroin. Your sobriety is nobody's responsibility but your own. You are the idiot for stealing pain meds. Depending on the state you live in, you may have committed a felony by stealing a controlled substance. Comment 3. Not the idiot. I am a recovering pain pill addict, 15 years clean on methadone, and my family hid theirs for years because I actually would steal them, even though the person prescribed them needed them. Tell her that if her dog needs them, she needs to hide them from you, otherwise you will be tempted and then her dog will have to suffer. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.